FDA reverses its position on daily aspirin use. Look at this, man. They used to tell you need to take aspirin. If you haven't had a heart attack, step away from the aspirin bottle. If you're one of the 40 million Americans who take aspirin every day. Wow, 40 million. The FDA says, let's see how many people. If you had to guess, Jamie, how many people do you think died?
7.
Okay.
I said, what, 40,000?
Yeah. Each year. All right, here we go. I'm saying 200. Let's say annual causes. Oh! 15,000?
15,000.
Oh my God. Look at this. Each year, 15,000 people die and 100,000 people are hospitalized as the result of aspirin and other NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Wow. That's insane.
You're not supposed to give kids when they have a fever. Is that Tylenol?
Dude, listen to this. I don't know, but listen to this crazy statistic. Aspirin kills 400% more people than the swine flu. Nearly 100,000 Americans die every year from adverse reactions to FDA-approved prescription drugs. What? That's insane. Did you know that? God damn.
Yeah.
These numbers are nuts. That's incredible, man. 107,000 patients are hospitalized annually for non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, which also includes, by the way, ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is also a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory.
That's the period one, right?
No, it's ibuprofen, Advil, headache stuff. Advil's the best. It's the best for headaches and anything you like, muscle aches, torn muscles
Advil?
or anything. Yeah.
Why do you like Advil? I was always a Tylenol guy.
It's ibuprofen. Tylenol sort of like, I think, if I had to guess, I think dulls the pain more, whereas ibuprofen gets the source of the pain more, which is inflammation. But most athletes prefer ibuprofen. I think it has like less risk factors too. But apparently a lot of people get fucked up by anti-inflammatories. I just can't believe it's that high. The numbers are nuts, man. Swine flu is safer than aspirin. 16,500 non-steroidal anti-inflammatory deaths occur among patients with rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis each year in the United States. Whoa, that's a nutty number, man. 16,500 deaths
You have no target.
from anti-inflammatory pills, from ibuprofen and aspirin. Wow, so those drugs are 1,000% more deadly than swine flu.
Just accidental deaths, does it say that? Because anyone using it to commit suicide?
People definitely use it to commit suicide, but it's hard. That's a bad suicide, apparently. That's a rough one. It takes a long time to end, too.
My headache's gone. I feel great. I feel too good.
What do you think is the #1 method of suicide?
Definitely.
Overdose, right?
Definitely, or cutting.
Cutting? Like cutting your neck?
I mean, I know
Your
girls
wrists?
that cut and they're not even trying to kill themselves, so I would imagine cutting is...
Just cut after they fuck you. They're like, what am I doing? Let me cut something
Have
off.
you known a lot of cutters? It's weird how many cutters are out in Los Angeles.
It's not that many cutters. It's all the girls you're dating. It's the pool you're drawing from. Most guys are like, what the fuck is he talking about? People are listening to this right now going, dude, most people don't cut themselves. Most people don't cut themselves, Brian.
Have you seen that new 3D projector display? It's one of the most...
change the subject. We're talking about people dying. I would just want, before we get into that, I just really wanted to... What do you think the #1 method for suicide is?
I'd say
if you had to guess.
Cutting.
Cutting?
Mm-hmm. Like cutting wrists?
Really?
Cutting grapes?
Jumping off something, probably.
Jumping off something.
Jumping off
Bridge.
I'm going to say overdose. I say overdose. But gunshot's got to be in there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's Google #1 method of suicide. #1.
Death by chocolate.
No, it's funny when you write #1 method in Google, homicide comes up first.
Homicide.
That's what the Google suggestion to fill in the blank. #1 method of homicide. How many people just Google that because they fucking hate their wife, or they hate their husband? I'm like, this fucking piece of shit. What's the best method?
Or that's your own
is?
personal cache, Joe.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because I
it's
have
not.
different things. When I type in stuff, different things come up, but then your stuff.
Please. In Google, if
Yeah.
you never Googled that before, I've never Googled that before.
Wait, what you type in?
#1 method of.
#1
method of. And I'll say
yeah,
homicide.
it's just homicide.
Yeah, see? Fuck off.
Did you know though if you're logged in though sometimes it comes up different because I said something like
Dude, we're wrong. We're way wrong.
What?
We're really wrong. Number one is firearm.
so shooting.
50%.
That makes sense.
50% they shoot themselves. 24% they hang themselves or suffocate. Poisoning, which I thought was number one, is only 16%. Jumping off shit, Jamie thought 2.3%. Cut, 1%.
Wow.
1.8%.
Totally lost that.
Drowning is 1.1%. Fire is 0.4%. Ooh,
Who would do that?
that's crazy. Transporter related. That means you jump in front of a truck.
Oh.
Transporter. What a
a
weird
weird name.
euphemism. Transporter related. That's 0.4%.
I'm gonna die by transporting.
Yeah, well, how weird, man. Firearms, 50. That's America, though. That's America. That's how we do. When in doubt, take it out. It's a scary way to die, knowing that you're going to pull that trigger and it's all going to go blank. But I've known more than one person that's done it. In my lifetime, I've known several people that have killed themselves with guns. The weird article is like when someone does something like that, they go, we need to change the gun laws. What? Like when someone kills someone with a gun, we need to change gun laws. Well, I guess it's kind of easier to kill someone if you have a gun, but if somebody wants to kill you, it's because they want to kill you. It's not because they have a gun. It's not like you have a gun and go, I'm thinking about fucking killing somebody now that I got this gun. No, you don't. You only use a gun to kill somebody because you want to kill them. Unless it's an accidental gun shooting, and then you're dealing with a totally different situation. But the idea that giving someone a gun makes them more likely to kill people, I'm not sure if I buy that.
When the LA riots were going on, a lot of people had their own personal firearms, and this guy I know, he said he had to like go on the roof of his apartment with a gun because they were trying to break into his house and stuff like that, and he actually had to shoot somebody.
He shot somebody?
Yeah, in like the arm or something like that. I think he said.
Who is this guy?
I don't want to say.
He might be a bullshitter.
I can tell you off air.
Is he a bullshitter?
No, no,
Sometimes?
absolutely not.
Occasionally?
Never.
Yeah?
No.
What's his dick taste like? Popcorn.
Your poop.
I think that Anthony Bourdain covered that on one of his shows. The riots in Koreatown, where the Koreans had to arm themselves and get on top of their buildings because all the cops were in Beverly Hills. Remember that shit? Koreatown just sort of got ransacked. And these guys were on top of their roofs with rifles. They were getting in trouble for having guns out. But if you look, there was like this giant wall of cars that guarded Beverly Hills. It was really kind of fucked up and racist and creepy. That was a creepy moment. The way the police shielded parts of Los Angeles for the riots and didn't do anything to protect other parts. And obviously they were given mandates. Obviously there was someone that was telling them what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do. But the weird choice was to just so openly and clearly defend wealthy people.
There's a lot to lose in the wealthy people's houses, worth millions and billions of dollars, and a lot of
Totally.
histories and.
Yeah, but so the poor people and their stores aren't worth as much?
Yeah,
That
but their
seems
PlayStation
crazy.
2 can get replaced easier than like a painting that was made by Da Vinci.
No. You're not looking at it right. They're talking about businesses. These people were on businesses. Like these businesses probably got $1 million worth of merchandise, and their business is getting broken into.
You have no target.
It's really not that much different than a rich person's house. It's just the fact that it's a business in Koreatown.
That riot was in the new NWA movie. It was cool seeing them remake that riot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an article about art thieves and about how little. Did you read that today? It was out today. About how few works of art ever get recovered when there's art theft. It's really interesting. There's when I lived in Boston about 25 years ago, there was this big stolen art event where these people broke into I don't remember which. I want to say the Getty, but I know I'm wrong. It's not the Getty Museum. There was
Huntington?
No. There was a museum in Boston, and it was a big-time museum, and these guys broke into it 25 years ago and stole a shitload of Rembrandts and like. Here it is. What is it? 2 suspects.
This is what you're talking about, I guess. 25 years ago, this guy was dead.
They are? When did this come out?
Just recently.
This article's recently?
last
August
August.
7th. Huh. The two men suspected of masquerading as police officers to rob an art museum of $500 million worth of masterpieces in 1990 are dead, the FBI say. 2 years ago, investigators announced they knew who stole 13 works, including paintings by Rembrandt and Vermeer. I don't know who that dude is. From Boston's Isabella Stewart, the Gardner Museum. That's what it is. But they refused to elaborate, saying only the investigation was focused on recovering the artwork. So the suspects are dead. What's interesting, $500 million worth of art, and no one's ever recovered the art. So someone's got the art.
Do you think it's just like North Korea? Like they just have like a bunch of galleries. Like, yes, we have all the most famous American paintings and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I think it's rich people.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really rich people that don't give a fuck where that art came from. They have a private collection, and they walk by it and they laugh, you know, that they bought a Rembrandt, that they have a Picasso. But I think that it's dangerous for them, because if they get caught, they know what that fucking thing is. It's like if you have a Rembrandt on your wall, I don't know about you, but me, I would have no idea what it is. Someone would have to tell me. You know, I would, but it's just someone who's like a serious art collector enough that they're willing to spend millions of dollars on a painting. They're going to know exactly what that thing is. But people are creepy, man. People that are collectors, like collectors of things, people get real creepy about real specifics. Like they want a Picasso, they have a Rembrandt, they have a this guy, a that guy, and they need a Picasso. I need a Picasso, but nothing is on the market. And then some guy comes up to you and says, I know something that's about to go on the market, and you know, right now it is in a collection that is public, and it will no longer be public, and someone will own it, and it could be you. Would you be interested in this? And you're like, well, what are we talking here? Like, what are we saying? Well, we'll show you a photograph, and you know, and they'll show you like what it is, and the guy goes, well, maybe. What are we talking here? Well, we're talking about $2 million. Oh, okay. I think we could work something out. And then they have to figure out how to exchange money where it doesn't get traced. And
yeah, and then have it looked at and appraised to make sure it's real. I mean, that's tough. That whole black market thing.
Well, people have been busted doing that. They've been busted doing that with statues. There was a Roman statue that they brought this guy in. Brian Callen told me the story. And then I went and listened to it on something else, where this guy had this statue, and they had spent so much money appraising it, and they bought it, and they brought in this expert, and the expert literally looked at it for a few minutes and goes, can you get your money back? And he was like, what are you talking about? He goes, can you get your money back? This is fake. You need to get your money back. I was like, what? And apparently he had bought it from a legitimate source, but the legitimate source had been swindled. It's like they can figure out a way to actually add mold to shit to make it look super old. They bury things underground and add mold to them. Like they figure out a way to have, because if you can find something like something that's like really old like that. Like somebody gave me a coin. Mark Gordon gave me a coin. It's an 1800-year-old coin from Rome, but there's a fuckload of them. Like, you know, they made a bunch of them. This guy, whoever the guy was at the time, had a shitload of his coins made. You can get a hold of them. They're not cheap, but you can get them. But a statue from back then, like just a really complex, well-worked piece of sculpture, is probably worth insane amounts of money. You know, if there's only one of them, and it's 1,800 years old, 2,000 years old, it's probably worth millions of dollars. So if someone could sit around and figure out how to fake it, so you make one, you make it real close, then you slowly like chip away at it and add to it, and then figure out a way to simulate erosion, and then figure out a way to get this this mold in it. And this mold was apparently the right mold for the area, so it had a lot of people fooled. But this one art expert just looked at it and it's like, this is not right. This is not real. Like he just knew, he could just tell, because he'd just seen so many of them. Whereas most people, I mean, if you're a guy who's your expertise is in appraising ancient statues, you develop a finely honed sense of what an ancient statue looks like. So for him, it was like really obvious, like right away. Like the hue is off, something's off. This can't be real. Holy shit, you got to get your money back quick. Whereas, you know, you or I would be like, whoa, dude, it's like 3,000 years old. I heard it's 5,000 years old. We'd both be retarded and fucking staring at the stupid thing. Meanwhile, Mike from Calabasas made it.
Fat Jew made it.
Fat Jew made it. He doesn't make anything, does he? What is this?
That movie documentary, Tim's Vermeer. That Vermeer just came up on here. That made me think of it. Someone, I don't remember which guest brought it up, but this is a really, really great documentary Penn Jillette made about this millionaire guy. He actually runs the company that makes the new tech TriCaster we use here. Mm-hmm. He figured out this really long process of how to recreate. He made a forgery, but no one knew how to make the forgery. He spent years figuring out how this guy Vermeer actually was making these photorealistic paintings, and then figured out how to do it himself, and was making paintings like a factory almost that were indecipherable from actual Vermeers.
Indistinguishable?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow,
from, like,
that's amazing.
Art guys. It's a really cool documentary, really worth checking out.
I heard good things about this.
It's awesome. I'd like to watch it again just to get inspired at the amount of work this guy put in.
Anytime Penn Jillette gets involved in something, it's always going to kick ass.
Absolutely.
He's a smart dude. He looks weird now, though. He's lost a lot of weight. I never say that it's bad for someone to be healthy. But he's unhealthy for so long. You kind of recognize him as being this big fat guy. And now all of a sudden he's like super thin.
I saw
Have you
Jim
seen him?
Norton is like really thin right now. It's really
Norton
weird
looks great.
seeing. Yeah,
Norton's healthy as fuck.
Looks healthiest.
He texted me the other day about cryo chambers. He wants to start freezing.
That I sent you guys a link, a new 3D display that doesn't require glasses. We've talked about it in the past a lot of what would be so cool is not 3D TVs, but not having to wear glasses
Right.
and watch a TV and stuff. And Gizmodo actually had a pretty good article using Cara Santa Maria as an example of the 3D technology. And it's using a whole bunch of different projectors and screens, but I guess it's really realistic. Like if you're staring at it and you walk around her, it looks like her standing right in front of you. And they have
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's a hologram.
it kind of is a hologram, but I think they're
Go full screen on that, young Jamie.
so here's the
So that's a fake dude or a real dude?
No, this is a real dude. This is how it's. They're actually showing. They make it. Those are all cameras around him, I believe, or lights.
It said 30 cameras.
30
So those are
cameras,
just
yeah.
lights. So the 30 cameras are capturing 30 different images.
Right, and
There's
so
3 rows of 10 images.
yeah. So they're recording all of him in all the different angles, both
It's Morgan
up and down.
Spurlock. That's the Super Size Me guy. Mm-hmm. And so they're recording him moving in all sorts of different ways. And then what do they do with it?
Let's see, now this is, I think, showing what they're filming. Like if you were to walk around,
Wow.
and then
So they can take this, what we're looking at, and somehow or another project it in front of you like a hologram, right?
yeah, if you can,
So like that Magic Leap technology sort of a thing?
kind of. Hold on, let's see. Let's turn this up a little so we can hear what's going on.
LED lights and 50 high-definition cameras. After they captured all this data, they put it together to make a 3D model of me, and then they were able to project that onto this screen as you see me now.
So it looks like it is a screen, but it's a 3D screen. So if you were to stare at it, you would be able to walk to the side, to the left, to the right.
They had this guy who's a Holocaust survivor. Imagine going through the Holocaust all the way to 2015, and they turned you into a crazy 3D animated thing. What a series of generational jumps that guy's passed through.
Just think how cool it's going to be when this gets a little bit better in the future, like the Hall of Presidents at Disneyland, you know, and stuff like that, where you're actually, holy shit, Abraham Lincoln's sitting right in front of me.
Yeah, you're going to get real holograms rather, that are just, you'll probably be shocked when your hand goes through them. And they're going to get to a point, especially if this Magic Leap is in any way indicative of what it's going to really look like when it's done. Because right now you're looking at it and it's like, how much of that is proof of concept? How much of that is the actual video of Magic Leap? If you don't know what Magic Leap is, Google it. It's a wild new hologram thing that they're doing where they have like an elephant dancing inside a person's palm. They had a little ballerina that was on a girl's bed. It was like a 4-inch ballerina. But I don't know. Do you know, like, how much of that is real?
That was all demo. Like, I think that's not real. I think that's just saying what in the future it's
what
going
it
to
will
look like.
I think I remember reading someone has tried it, but he had to be very careful about what he was allowed to say.
Yeah.
He actually experienced. Like,
That's
he had a very, very rudimentary, very early version of it. It's a giant football helmet-sized thing he had to wear. It was projecting things in front of his eyes onto a screen-like thing. But they're doing something called light field augmentation. It's like brand new technology that no one else's use. We can't compare it to anything.
I wonder how they're projecting it. Like right now he's got to wear this helmet thing, and then eventually they'll break it down to like a Google Glass type size or sunglasses or something like that. But I wonder how they're projecting it in front of you. Like, how is it just is it a recreation of 3D
when
depth?
I was reading it, they're actually projecting light into your eye. Like we're accepting light into our eye right now, like through our irises, but they're gonna shoot light into your eye, like lasers type stuff.
How long before someone goes blind or has eye cancer? They're saying now that cell phones absolutely cause cancer. Have you seen that?
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a study that says they're pretty positive that cell phones cause cancer.
It's going to go to most people's hand. Is there such thing as hand cancer? Because that's what would be the most, right? From texting all day?
I don't think people get hand cancer that much. Hands are pretty durable.
You
But,
can't attack that now.
Let's see this. Cell phones cause cancer. Cell phones and the cancer risk. Yeah. There was a recent article about it where they were talking about it. I'm trying to find a recent version of it.
Don't smoke your cell phone.
Berkeley says cell phones cause tumors. This is from just a couple months ago. Yeah, Berkeley is the first city to... Oh, Berkeley's filled with hippies. First city to mandate cell phone carriers inform buyers of potential radiation exposure. A neuroscientist on why it's premature to claim phones cause cancer. That might have been what I read from the Daily Beast. I mean, it makes sense, though. I think that it's probably not good to have all these Wi-Fi signals running through our fucking houses constantly. I mean, how could it be good that you're throwing hundreds of megabytes around the room in the air, right? I mean, this laptop is downloading shit right now. It's completely unconnected by wires. Yours is as well.
Isn't it weird? There's movies in the air right now around us. There's like dick pics right next to your cheek.
Radio signals in the air. Cell phones, signals are in the air. Yeah. Well, they say that fucks with bees. That bees, apparently, they hear it like a jackhammer. Like the way bees communicate, I think they're pretty positive that bees are negatively impacted by the sounds and the signals that are flying around them all the time. Wi-Fi, cell phone, radio, all that jazz. That it's fucking with their peace. See, I don't know how much we feel or how much it impacts us, but what I do know is every time I go somewhere where there's no cell phone, when it's like Alaska or Montana or something like that, where you're out in the real wilderness, it seems different. Like the actual physical environment of the air seems different. Like when you're standing out there, you're like, what is this? Is a different kind of solitude. This is a different kind of silence. It's just like real silence. It's not like there's something missing in the air. And it could be just totally bullshit. It could be a placebo. It could be just the fact that you know that you can't get a cell phone signal. There's no one for miles. You can't see anybody. That it just like gives you this feeling of solitude that sort of accentuates the quiet of the environment. But it might not be. It might be there might be an actual physical thing, like that you're feeling in your brain that you can't quite put your finger on, but it's there all the time.
It just makes me wonder, though, if we could look at it like something like a gnat, though, and be like, well, they would feel it first. You know, they're so small that just a tiny gnat. Or what are those little red dots that are insects that are always like walking around on bricks and stuff? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a bright orange dot. And you're like, I'll just accept that that's a bug, that orange dot.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Those little dots.
No.
They're like these little insects. It looks like a little red dot. It's like a pixel, but they're super small. I don't know if they have them in California, maybe.
There's 2 articles in a row here. It's official, cell phones are killing bees, and then right below it, cell phones don't kill bees. One of them is from 2011, May 21st. The other one is May 19th, 2011. It's hilarious. How the fuck is someone supposed to figure it out?
Do bees squirt?
I think they were saying that it interferes with them. So let's see. So bees and cell phones interfere. Let's do this. Interfere. Study links bees decline to cell phones. This is on CNN. Yeah, and they're saying that the cell phone signals, somehow or another, cell phone radiation may be contributing to the decline in bee populations in some areas of the world. You know, Radiolab had this interesting story about bees. where in China they, because of what are you pulling up here, Jamie? Says it doesn't.
Yeah.
See, that's
despite a
the
great deal of
government though.
attention.
Those are criminals. This is a criminal website.
CCD.
This might as well be ISIS. Who knows if they're telling you the truth? But this is a Huffington Post, bro. It says it's real. What was I just saying? Oh, decline in bees. In China, they did this study where they found out that they had rapidly declining bee populations for whatever reasons, pollution, whatever. And so they decided that they were going to have to figure out another way to pollinate some of their plants. So there's apple trees. So they hand pollinated the apple trees, and their yield went through the roof. Because apparently, when you have bees do it, bees are sloppy fucks. They don't even know what they're doing. It's like you're asking someone to do something, and they don't even know what they're doing, and they're idiots. You know, bees are just little robots, little insect robots. They just run around, and they get this pollen, and they accidentally spread it. They're not doing it on purpose. But when you have people do it on purpose, they had people doing it with paintbrushes. And when they had the people doing it with paintbrushes, like significant increase in yield. But then people wanted more money, and then they realized that, you know, in China, like, the more lucrative the business became, the more people organized and said we want more money, and the more they decided it was cost prohibitive. But they tried, this is all from a Radio Lab podcast called, I think it was called Worth. Don't quote me on that though. But it was all about how much are things worth. And one of the things that they were talking about were how much is it worth to have bees pollinate these plants, that you don't think about it that way. You think about it like, oh, it's just a part of nature. But if you had to put a monetary value on it, then maybe you would think more carefully about maintaining healthy bee populations. You know, and I think the number they were using was like in the billions, that having healthy bee populations that pollinate plants is worth X amount of billions of dollars in labor. Whether or not that's true.
Yeah. Seems like you could use, like those little robot drone things, we could almost make our own robot bees in the future.
Well, they have done that.
Yeah.
They have done that. Monsanto did that. Monsanto has drone bees. You ever seen them?
No.
Pull them up, Jamie. Monsanto drone bees. Where do you see this? This is the idea, I think, is once we pollute the atmosphere to the point where bees can't live anymore, they're going to release these fucking insect hordes out into the fields. These horrible little monsters.
Boston Dynamics just released a new robot video running through a forest, and it's very creepy looking.
Oh, terrifying.
It looks like an army soldier.
Those fucking things are terrifying, man. Boston Dynamics they make some of the scariest shit. Did you find any Monsanto bees, drone bee?
I sent you the link of the other robot one there. Do you want to look at that while you're
Have that. I'm trying to. The only stuff I'm finding on this Monsanto bee are sites that don't look legit.
Yeah.
Robotic bees to pollinate Monsanto crops.
That sounds like a troll.
Firstnews.wordpress.com.
Dude, that's it though. Go to it and they'll show you the bee.
I know, but that's what I'm at.
Is it fake? Go to Snopes.
Is it on a WordPress?
It's from Harvard. It says the Harvard monolithic bee. Harvard Microbiotics Lab have been working with its micro air vehicles project since 2009. Working on it. Borrowing from the biomechanics and social organization of bees, the team of researchers is undergoing the creation of a tiny winged robot. Look at this fucking thing, man. Is that real? Seems real. It's the size of a penny. Whoa. So they cut that bee out of that thing. A little circuit board. Published reports from the lab also describe potential military uses, surveillance, and mapping, but the dime-sized cyber bees have yet to be outfitted with neurotoxin tip stingers. Yuck, yuck, yuck. This looks real as fuck, dude. If this is fake, this is a really elaborate sort of a hoax.
That, or it's like, you know, a final at some college. You know, some engineers. That was my final.
Yeah, it could be. But I don't think it's anything outside of the realm of possibility. Whoa, look at this. It is real. Oh my god. Look at this fucking thing. This is the little tiny fake bug. So how does this thing fly? So you... Oh wow. Those things go so fast you can't even see it. So they move just like a real bug. Like the same sort of thing.
Printed circuit MEMS is a
That's the
versatile
wrong
process
target.
for creating machines at the millimeter scale. It can create complex electrical and mechanical systems using a variety of techniques.
I don't see it
It
flying.
is a process well suited to mass production,
This seems like some.
enabling parallel manufacturing of large numbers of robotic devices.
Sounds like an idea again. Concept.
Yeah, they didn't show it fly. They just showed the wings buzzing.
Wish you could have just hooked up to a battery.
Show me it flying, bitch.
Yeah.
Why would you show something that flies but not have it fly? That seems silly, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right. But that Boston Dynamics robot is real, and it looks like a soldier. It looks like Star Wars running through it. Look at that thing.
Oh, it's so awful.
There's a video also of it. This is just an animated GIF, but
It's terrifying.
it's
It's weird because it's hooked up right now to a giant tube in the back of it, but that's just for now.
aren't they owned by Google now or something like that? Boston
Probably.
Dynamics.
Skynet, you mean?
Yeah. They're showing all the different robots right now in this video.
My friend who worked for Google doesn't work for Google anymore, so now I can't find out when they're going to attack.
Oh no.
I was hoping that she could at least send me the bat signal if Skynet's going to go live and these robots are going to start attacking.
But does she work somewhere better, like Apple or something like that?
She moved to another corporation that I'll tell you about later. But look at this this thing walking on those uneven rocks. Oh shit!
look at that.
Look, it gets hit, it lifts its leg up, it checked the leg kick.
Balance.
That's a 20-pound ball that it slammed into it. A 20-pound piece of metal, or 20 kilograms. We don't know.
Can you imagine these things during riots? They're just going to throw these robots out that are not going to have any real judgment skills. Just grab, keep out.
The real worry is that this is how we're going to do our wars. These things are going to go into cities and just kill people. And this is robot versus robot until robots get to people and they decimate human populations. And then that's the wars we have. We send robots to kill people. And then we send robots to kill robots that are trying to kill people. And then we send our robots to kill the people that created the robots to kill the people. And then we got robot wars.
Yeah.
That's possible, man. 100%.
It's going to start off pretty cool, though. Like, oh my God, we're getting attacked, but it's a robot attack, and we have robots, and we're just watching robots on TV or something.
Yeah, for a little bit. So, Jamie, there is a video of it. Just look up robotic bees could change the world, and then go to, it's pretty far down, like maybe 7/8 into the video. You'll see this thing is attached with a very small wire, but it actually is flying. It's fucking crazy to look at, man. It's really weird. It's a 3-minute video, so go to about like 2:40 something. And you can see the actual fake bug flying. But it's connected just like that robot is. It's the robot's connected with a hose in the back with wires. This is connected with a very small wire. But it's real. So it's not just a proof of concept. They just have to figure out a power source that makes sense. But they're not the robot bees are fucking crazy and creepy. But what's really creepy is, see that thing? Look at that thing flying.
Wow,
That's
that's
real.
Cannot be
I mean, it's mimicking a hummingbird or a bee. But look at it. Well, see, this is an actual bee, but look at it right there. I mean, that is flying. That's nuts, man. Here's what's scarier, though. Go to 10 incredible micro robots. This is fucking nuts, man. Wait till you see this video. 10 incredible micro robots. Micro and then dash robots. Top one. Yeah, that's it. Check this shit out. This is one style that flies around like little helicopters. Look at these fucking things, man. They come out of these boxes. So imagine that. You're sitting in your office.
This is fake, though, right? This is proof of concept. So.
Yeah.
See,
But look at some of these ones that they're creating. These are all the different, so this is Self-Organizing Systems Research Lab from Harvard. These things organize, and they can figure out where to go. Look at this, elapsed time, 11 hours, elapsed time, 5 hours, and they form shapes. They go into certain positions. Look at this, one of them climb up a wall. So some of these are prototypes, some of these are proof of concept, some of these are just theories, but there's eggheads working on this stuff right now.
So, did you see the video of the where they downloaded the brain of a worm and put it into a little Lego robot thing, and it's just like running around hitting walls and going upside down? I thought this. I watched it
Yeah,
twice.
get that.
I watched it twice, and the first time I thought it was a woman's brain. And I was like, oh my God, did you see that they downloaded a woman's brain into a machine to my friend? I'm like, no, they did. I'm like, yeah. And I like pulled up, I'm like, oh wait, it says worm. But the whole time I thought,
You
how
saw it said
hilarious.
woman instead of
Yeah, and I'm like,
worm?
look how dumb this woman is. She's just hitting her.
Well, she's a worm. She can't think. She's a Lego or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck she is.
But it's
If they
funny
took-
thinking.
What do you think they would do if you put your brain in a Lego?
Definitely probably go in circles and
just-
hit a wall.
It would just run over to a laptop and just research Fat Jew all day.
Just hang out on MFC.
There's a bunch more in that video too. One of them is a typer. One of them is typing with the top 10 organizing ones. One of them is this little thing that goes over a piece of paper and like a typewriter would do, but types it. So like you put a message in this little thing, and then you put this little thing on a piece of paper, and it will print out like a typewriter would what your message is, which is really weird. Yeah. You can see that one at like, let me see here. Yeah, check it out, Jamie. Oh wow, Zuffa Labs, how hilarious. I don't think it's the same Zuffa. But it's at like 225. Go to 225. Look at this fucking thing, Brian. I mean, I think that typing is kind of, the idea of a typewriter is kind of outdated. There it is.
Oh,
Look at
that's
this thing.
cool.
Look at that. It just floats across a piece of paper and writes what you wanted it to say. It was fucking very strange, right? Zuta Labs. Not Zuffa. But look at that.
It's really neat. But it seems like that's old technology that's just not even created yet. That seems like that should have already been made. Like it seems what would be more like having paper that you could just take a flash and print it by just doing like a Xerox machine almost, where you're just flashing some paper like a negative photo or something.
Well, that's 100% going to happen.
Yeah.
I think also what we were looking at earlier, the Cara Santa Maria thing, the 3D, they're going to be able to do that with just, you're going to take a video of something with your cell phone and be able to send it to Jamie, and Jamie will watch like Princess Leia, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. It's just a matter of us staying alive long enough to see things that we never thought could be real. It's not that far away. There's these people that we don't even know. You don't even know they're working on these things. Nobody knows of them, but yet they are like that close to going public. And they're fucking, everybody has to swipe key cards before they go in the building. They check your bag. They make sure you don't bring your phone. Your phone has to go into a bucket when you go into the laboratory, because this is all proprietary shit. They're checking they probably have those fucking fake buttons that are really cameras and shit. Let me see your glasses. Let me see those fucking glasses. Glasses now, they have glasses with little tiny cameras in them that are like so hard to see. If you look at your selfie camera, look how little that goddamn lens is. Like the selfie one, like the one on the back is tiny, right? Look at my iPhone here. But the one on the front is fucking stupid tiny. It's so little, and it's good. It's really good. I mean, look how good a selfie camera is. I mean, they do a fucking incredible job of capturing your image. Like, look at this. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a tiny ass little pinpoint camera, and it's got everyone in this room to the point where you could broadcast Periscope from this thing that's like a Sharpie. If you took a Sharpie and dotted a page with it, just dot, that's how big that camera is, and yet it's crystal clear. So that could be in your button. That could be in any. If they're not physically patting you down, you could easily have something like that going on.
Yeah, the one I use in massage parlors looks like a car alarm
Easy. You're on the air.
keychain. Oh.
Fuck, man.
But it's a video. It films 1080p.
You don't film massage parlors, do you?
No.
Good.
I mean the one.
Your target is too far away.
But no, it's like actually just looks like a little keychain, but it does 1080p. Like it has a little memory card. You just put it in your computer, and next thing you know, it's just like, oh, you got full video. Just put it on the nightstand next to it, point it towards the girl.
Hats, anything. That's really illegal, though. and
I'm just
creepy
kidding.
as
I don't
fuck.
do it. That's the only
Of
reason
course
I'm
you
saying.
But you think about what you could do that with. I mean,
Yeah.
belts would be an easy one, right? Because you could actually hide the battery and everything in the belt. You could literally hide the whole thing in a belt. They would have to give you your own outfit. They would have to make you come into the lab. You have to take off all your clothes, put them in a locker, and then wear some scrub suit that they provide you. Remember that movie, New Jack City, where they're making cocaine naked?
Titties.
Yeah.
Titties out.
That's how they had to do it, because they didn't trust anybody. People would leave with the product. That's the same thing with these laboratories that are about to go live with all this crazy technology. They have to take every precaution possible to make sure that people don't go public with their stuff. Because that's one of the things about big inventions, whether it's the light bulb or the telephone. When these things are being worked on, there's usually a bunch of other people working on the exact same thing. Like scientific minds. Here's the thing about like innovative minds or brilliant people. They don't work in a vacuum. For every Nikola Tesla who comes up with shit completely independent of other people's thoughts, there's most people, what their ideas are based on is based on the ideas of a bunch of other people that are sort of like extrapolated to a point that maybe a few people saw coming. You know, whether it's the idea of a telephone or the idea of holograms or 3D printers or all these different things. It's like people kind of see it coming and then they're all working on it, and then this one Thomas Edison motherfucker comes out with that light bulb and everybody's like, wow, he's a genius. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb and America was changed. Where would we be for not the work of this great man? Well, there's probably about 5 other dudes that were working on it exactly at the same time. That's sort of what always happens with this stuff. So a lot of it becomes a rush to getting the funding and getting the patents and then figuring out how to get it produced. But there's usually probably a bunch of people working on similar shit. So like right now, when you see this stuff, like these little micro robots, when you see those big crazy Boston Dynamic robots, and you see artificial intelligence, and this is all stuff that they're going public with. They're probably so close in so many different labs developing something that's really going to make you shit your pants. Right?
I got one I saw today.
What'd you say?
Some researchers have got a pig heart to work inside of a primate for 945 days. And it's something they didn't think was actually possible before.
Whoa.
And they've got a kidney working for 136 days. And it says that they're probably geoengineering some of these pigs to be better to suit human organ transplants.
Whoa. Well, here's something that Dr. Gordon, Mark Gordon, told me about. That I was telling him about the success that I had with getting stem cell shot on my shoulder. It's kind of creeping me out. Like, my shoulder still makes kind of some clicks. It does some weird clicking stuff. And, you know, I kind of feel it, but I can't say there's any pain. And I'm practicing archery every day. So I'm shooting arrows with it, so I'm pulling back. This new bow I have is only 70 pounds, but I'm pulling back 70 pounds 100 times a day, every day, and it's not hurting. Like the next day, it like feels like a little like something's going on with it, but it doesn't hurt. Whereas it would definitely be hurting before the stem cells, and like lifting weights doesn't bother it. Like chin-ups don't bother it. Rows don't bother it. All these push-ups don't bother it. All these different things that bothered it used to bother it, and it's only been 4 weeks. What's freaking me out is how quick it is. I talked to Daniel Cormier. He's a UFC light heavyweight champ. Same shit with the asterisk next to champ. But same shit. He had an MCL tear, got some stem cell shot in there. Bam. No more swelling. Feels great. They don't even know how it works. They have ideas of how it works, but they're not really sure how it's working. These are non-specific cells. And these cells go to the injured area, and they somehow or another know what's injured. Through the immune system or something. The utilization of these stem cells causes injuries to heal way quicker than it ever did before. And Dr. Gordon was telling me about this guy who got in a car accident. Gets his chest crushed, okay, on the steering wheel, down to 30% heart capacity. And he's fucked. Can't have sex anymore, can barely walk. I mean, he's just severely, severely diminished. Gets some stem cells shot into his heart, bam, back to 100%. Wow. Just a few months. Like, what? A few months? A few months and his fucking heart's working at 100% now. And this is like, apparently this is going on all over the world. Like, they're just going, wait, what? Like, they're just starting to experiment. But that's really what's happening. It's experiments. Because they don't exactly know why this shit works. They have some theories, and they're trying it out, but a lot of people are real cautious about it. But they're having some pretty incredible results with stem cells. To the point where it makes you wonder, like, what are they going to have in 5 years from now? Because they didn't even have this 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if you told someone you got stem cells shot in an injury, they'd be like, what are you, from the future? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, but I wonder if there's also, because you're adding something new to the body that's kind of foreign, if that passes on through DNA or, you know, like in the future.
Really
like,
clever question.
Like you have like a baby that has like an extra face or something to it. Or...
I don't think it works like that. It's just there's cells that are natural to your body. They can do it that way, or they can do it with placenta. That's how I did it. Mine was from human placenta, from chicks who've had cesarean sections. They take their placenta.
Did you get to choose the girl?
No, I did not. I don't think they would let me, creep. But they also can take it out of your fat.
You can have some of mine.
No, I don't want your fat. My fat. The idea is you use your own. Would you get lipo?
Yeah.
What if a guy was like a liposurgeon and contacted the show and said, I would like to give Brian Redband some free lipo?
You know, I would totally do it because
I'm lazy.
No, I've noticed
not
that
really
the
good
older I
diet.
get, the more around the muffin top thing.
Has nothing to do with you drinking every night.
Nah, probably not. I mean, it's all Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, sodium. Don't fucking bother me.
Yeah. I mean, there's something going. I know. I only eat once a day, so it's so weird that I even have any issue at all. But I really wonder if I just quit
Dude, it's
drinking.
alcohol.
100%. Yeah. Well, it's weird because I only drink diet sodas, and so it's like Jack Daniels, whatever calories is in Jack Daniels I'm having. But if you only eat one a day, you have calories to burn. It's not like I'm eating hot dogs.
Well, you have a sedentary lifestyle. You like sitting and not doing anything.
Absolutely laying.
Yeah,
Way better
laying.
than
It's even
sitting.
better than
Sitting's
sitting.
rough.
It's too hard. You gotta stay
Yeah,
up.
I had to stay up.
Sit up.
Why
right.
do that when you can just lay sideways?
You went when you broke up with one of your girlfriends back in the day, the one where you went on this rampage and lost all that weight. Like you were like fucking determined to look good. You decided like this is it. I'm tired of being fat and waddling around everywhere.
That was
I'm
10
gonna
years
fucking-
ago, too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, so you feel like it's harder now because you're 41
Yeah,
and 31?
that changed like maybe 5 years ago, where I'm just like, holy shit! Like the energy was already low to begin with. Now I wake up tired. So that, or I have sleep apnea, because I really do wake up just going like, okay, I just need to stay awake enough to go to Starbucks, and then Starbucks doesn't seem like it works.
The problem with finding out if you have sleep apnea is you got to go through one of those sleep studies, and those are annoying.
Right,
You saw that picture of me where I have all those electrodes stuck to my head. I have it on my blog somewhere. It's probably still up there. But it was, I had these electrodes stuck all over my head and like around my eyes and shit. And then you try to sleep in this fucking weird bed in some weird room. I had the hardest time sleeping. But once I did, I was choking. Like clearly they could tell like when you there it is. There's me covered up with
See, I did the home version of that. I just put a drop cam next to my bed, and I had it tell me anytime it hears noises or movement, and then it records it in the clouds. Then I can just go back and be like, oh, there's a noise here. Oh, that's me snoring, or that's me moving. And I noticed that I mean, I've been doing it for like a couple months. That it's mostly I'll snore on nights that I heavily drink or something like that, but it's always at the beginning of my sleep, and then it's only for like a half hour or so. So it's not the whole night going like that or anything like that. But
well, heavily when you're drunk and really exhausted. When I'm really exhausted, I snore horrible.
Right.
Like the worst. Like on one of these hunting trips that I went on, me and Steve Ranella had to haul this pig down the side. Well, I shot this pig and it rolled down the side of a hill. And it was really far down the hill, and the hill was ridiculously steep, like this. I mean, like you couldn't walk up it; you had to crawl up the hill. You could crawl up it, but you literally couldn't stand up straight. I mean, it was just that steep, and it was a big pig. It was like 200+ pound pig. So the pig goes rolling down the side of this hill, and we had to figure out how to get it up the hill. So we attached it to these cables, and we had this truck pull it, but the cables were rubbing on the rocks on the hill, and they kept snapping. The cable snapped twice, and the pig came rolling back down, and then we had to stop the pig from rolling down. So then the guide from the Tejon Ranch said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to roll the pig downhill. Going to roll the pig downhill, and I think if you just roll it downhill, you'll get down to the road at the bottom, and I'll just drive around and pick you up the road. So we figured, oh, okay, probably won't be that far. He totally misjudged. So not only that, I shot this pig with like 5 minutes left of light. So it was like if it gets dark at 6 o'clock, I shot the pig at 5:55. So all this stuff we're doing in dark. And this is a place, the Tejon Ranch, that has they have a trail camera that picks up movement and takes photographs. So they have this water hole. They got pictures of 16 different mountain lions in this one water hole. And it's just me and Ranella with one gun. He doesn't even, I don't think he even had a gun with him. I think it was just me and him. One gun, 16 mountain lions, and a dead pig. And we're rolling it down this hill. But you could only go so far because we got to this point where it was just like so heavily wooded, we had to cut up the pig and then we had to carry it out. So we had to gut this pig. We take out the heart because you eat the heart, and we got rid of the rest of the organs. And he put one half on his shoulder, I put one half on my shoulder, and then we had to carry this thing the rest of the way. So we're carrying it for miles through the woods. And the woods are like, it's super steep hills. You get to the bottom, you're trying to climb over logs. I mean, it's fucked, and it takes hours. So from 6 p.m. to midnight, this is what we did. We just carried this. We each had 100 pounds on our back, climbing over woods and trying to figure out how to get to the fucking where this truck is. We finally get to where this truck is. We got back to the cabin and just conked out. And apparently I snored so bad that everybody else in the building didn't sleep. I went out like I got shot with a tranquilizer dart. I even had a mouthpiece in. I had a shitty one at the time. I have a better one now.
Have you ever tried those nose strips? Does those work? Or
That's not gonna help.
No.
I had already had my nose fixed by then. It wasn't that. It's just when you it's a big issue with weightlifters. Your neck gets big, your hole gets smaller. Like the air hole actually gets smaller. And I have a big tongue, and so my tongue, I don't mean to brag.
my God, so you got a tight
got a big
throat
tongue.
and a nice big
I got a
fat
tight throat and a fat tongue. And my fat tongue, if I'm lying on my back especially, falls over the hole, the air hole, and it chokes. And so it's like, apparently that's what it sounds like. I never listened to my snore, but
I've heard you snore before.
it's bad.
Yeah, I remember you snored when we went to Japan.
Did I? Oh, did I not have my mouthpiece in when I went to sleep?
I don't remember. I just remember.
On the plane?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That'll happen.
yeah. They killed a mountain lion on the 5 freeway the other day
Good. Kill them all.
from the Santa Monica Mountains.
Cunts. People are too happy about those things being around.
They're cute though.
They're cool looking. They just shouldn't be around people. Well, you shouldn't be around when they are. Shut up. I hate that fucking line of thinking. That is an annoying line of thinking. They're dangerous. Mountain lions will fuck you up. If you've never seen a picture of someone who got bit by a mountain lion, there was some poor lady who was on one of the news shows, and it was so graphic. She had been attacked by a mountain lion on her bike, pulled her off of her bike. Someone else tried to beat the thing off of her, and it had a hold of her head and just tore her face apart. I mean, it was awful.
There was a video on HuffPost of a woman's beautiful lullaby to her sick pig, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but it's one of those videos that I'm just it's the most cutest, like, human-looking eyes I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's the thing about pigs. I mean, it's coming from someone who just shot one or just told you about a time I shot one.
Yeah.
Pigs are really smart, man. They're smart. And they kill them like vermin in
You
Texas.
can't attack that now.
I mean, in Texas, they shoot them out of airplanes. They're constantly fucking shooting them out of airplanes. There's
Your target is
Yeah.
too far away.
This, I mean, if you,
Play it.
this poor pig is blind, and she rescued this pig, and so it has to stay in this hospital, and I guess
hold on, Jamie. You have two things playing at the same time.
it has to stay in this hospital, and I guess that one of the things is that there's so many loud noises at the hospital that it gets scared, and so she comes there when she can and sings to it, and it's just one of those videos you just sit there going, I don't want to eat bacon. Or, never mind, I still eat bacon, but
It's hard because bacon's good.
it is good. But
Bacon's good, but it's just weird, man.
it looks like an old
Is that
man.
noise in the background her?
Yeah, this is at a hospital.
Oh.
I mean, that looks like a human.
This is annoying as fuck. Stop that. It's almost like a joke. Let's see if you listen to this song with sound of tractor trailers falling off cliffs in the background.
It's an old Irish lullaby she's singing, but it's a 9-month-old, 14-pound piglet. That's
2 million views. If that was an African baby, 50 views.
right.
It's true, man. People are brutal. There was a picture of this fucking vulture that someone posted. You know, it was a meme. I don't think it wasn't funny, so Fat Jewish didn't use it. But it was a meme of a vulture hovering over a black baby in Africa, waiting for this kid to die. And it was about how many people cared about this lion, but how few people care about the amount of people that starve to death every year in Africa.
Yeah.
Justin Wren is going to be on the podcast again soon. He's fighting for Bellator now, and he's back on the podcast. I think in a week or so. I gotta go check the calendar, but he's back soon to talk about his. Yeah, that's what, the 24th, a week from today.
To talk about Black Widow babies.
He's fighting for Bellator, and one of the reasons why he's doing this is to try to raise awareness for the pygmies. He's such an amazing dude. He's a real deal. Like, I always look for like people like that. I always think like maybe somewhere along the line he'll reveal himself, and it turns out that he was really just doing this for his own profit, but he's not. I don't think that about him, but you think that about someone usually when they have some big, like, remember Coney 2012?
One of my favorite times. Whacking it, whacking it, whacking it.
The guy was, well, explain why you say whacking it, because the guy was he was putting together this ridiculous thing to go after Joseph Kony and, you know, letting everybody know what a horrible person Kony was. And then something happened to homeboy. He wound up losing his mind and was in his underwear running around in traffic in San Diego, beating off in front of people, and that was the end of Kony. Like, you have to be a perfect person. You can't have a great cause and also be a nut, because then people just immediately dismiss your cause. We never heard a peep out of Joseph Kony ever since. It was Kony 2012. Here he is. He's totally naked. Crank this up so we can hear this guy. He's running around naked and he's clapping. What do you think he was on?
That's...
First of all, he's gayer than the day is long. There's no way you can even pretend to be that gay, faking it.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like alcohol and Molly, maybe.
I think that's like some serious drugs. I think that's like a meth move.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a methy sort of behavior. Running around slapping concrete and angry at everybody. That's all methy.
Yeah, it's methy. It seems methy is it's more popular than I ever thought it was. Like, it seems like I learned more about people doing meth and heroin in this city than I've ever thought was actually real life.
Yeah, meth is super popular.
Yeah.
Meth is real popular, and Adderall is real popular too. And you talk to doctors, and they say there's not that much difference. It depends on how much you're taking, but meth and we associate meth with addiction. And we associate meth with addiction and shitty behavior. Like, you're going to take meth, you're definitely going to go out and get whacked out and do a bunch of stupid shit. That's not necessarily the case. Some people do meth and they're fine. Like, they get cranked up and then the next day they feel like shit, but they don't do it every day. Whereas we only think of meth by the people that, quote-unquote, abuse meth. Imagine if meth became something like alcohol, where you could just go buy it. Like, if you run into someone, like if you're at a park and you run into some dude and he's hammered, like, oh, great, a fucking drunk. It's annoying. Why is that any different than running into someone who's methed out? Like, there's people that can drink, like you, Jamie. You can drink and you're fine. I've seen you a little silly, but you don't get crazy. But we all know someone, every group of people knows at least one person that can't drink. They drink.
Nervous.
Yeah, they go off, whoever it is, they go off the rails. They get crazy. And if you ran into that person in a park and they're like, man, fuck these bitches, you know, running around drunk, you'd be like, oh, great, a drunk. Maybe that's the same thing with meth. Maybe you do meth and you'd be like all fucking speedy and you clean your house up, but you'd be the same guy the next day. You'd be like, I did some good meth last night. I got a little fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, we associate, like, if you do meth, you're off the rails, out of your fucking mind, done. Like, Jesus, Brian's doing meth. Oh, no. What if alcohol was illegal, but meth was legal? And, you know what Brian did last night? He got drunk. No fucking way. He was drinking alcohol? What an idiot. And you're out there drinking booze, getting fucked up, which is totally normal to us. But it's only normal because it's a society-sanctioned drug. What if meth is just as good or bad for you, or just as problematic as alcohol is? It's just not sanctioned, so we don't think about it that way. And we only associate it with those people who fucking claw their face off and lose their teeth and shit.
Is that what people were referring to as speed in like the 80s, or is that something else?
Yeah,
That's
it's
what it
all
was.
amphetamines. Different types and schedule, different classifications of amphetamines. But like that was a big thing in professional pool. Was guys would play on amphetamines. They'd play for 24, 48 hours. They would play until the other guy dropped, and they would
Can I
they would
help you with
gamble the
something?
entire time. And apparently, when you're on amphetamines, you can
Is
see
that
things
really all
better.
you have in
Like
you?
you see like the path of the balls better. You see like where the ball's gonna go. Like, someone described it to me that used to do meth, and he said, when you play pool on meth, you know, you look at a ball and the ball looks circular. When I would play on meth, he said, I would see flat surfaces. So I'd see like a series of flat surfaces around the ball, and I would know exactly what flat surface to hit. So the ball collisions, like when you play pool, if you look at a ball and you're trying to cut a ball in the side pocket, you're just kind of estimating where the ball is going to collide with the other ball. And that collision point, you have to assume there's going to be like a little bit of friction. It's going to move the ball off the line a little bit, especially if you're cutting a ball. So you got to kind of compensate that, and you add a little spin to it to try to compensate for the deflection. So there's all these variables that you have to kind of like play on feel. He said it wasn't on feel.
Nice
He said
day,
when he was
isn't
on
it?
meth, he would see like flat surfaces. So he knew that this flat surface had to collide with that flat surface, and it would make like a direct tangent line that would go into the pocket. And I was like, how come you can't see that when you're sober? He's like, I can't even describe to you what it's like. He's like, but when I'm fucked up on meth, I would see like flat surfaces instead of a curve.
There's probably a way to mimic that using some kind of eyewear, you know?
Yeah, probably. But maybe not, because I think what he's seeing is a hallucination. What he's seeing is like, yeah, I can fucking do it. You know, it's like you get confidence.
The balls are heads.
It's been big in baseball forever.
Yes.
Like forever.
Makes sense, right? Like you would be able to see the ball coming at you quicker, and you may be able to see the edges of the ball better. Somebody did say that when they were on meth. Like someone was talking about Adderall, not on meth, but Adderall, that they could see the stitches of the ball as it's coming towards them. What? Well, all that stuff was invented to make people better. So that's weird. All these things that, you know, like meth and amphetamines, they're all designed to give you more energy and make you better at certain tasks. But we just associate them with abuse because they're illegal. Be weird. Look, if Adderall and meth really are that close, and no one in this room is smart enough to understand whether that they are. But if they really are, and no one in this room has done meth, right? Is that true, Brian?
I don't think so.
But you've done Adderall, right?
Yeah.
I wish you did both.
Wait, meth you snort?
You might have.
I think I feel like I've done it before.
Well, you could smoke it. You could smoke it. You could snort it. The idea is to get it directly into your bloodstream, right? If you're taking the Adderall, you're taking them as a pill, so it has to go through your body.
People snort those too. But
Yeah, oh yeah, they do. Well, that was one of the things that the Bigger, Stronger, Faster guy had said, that when they
Arieluma.
changed OxyContins and made them to where you couldn't smoke them or snort them, when you crushed them and turned them into a pill, their profit margin jumped or dropped by like 80%, he
I
said.
think it happened after they were here that it's been approved for 11-year-olds and
It did happen.
over now.
Yeah.
That's fucking fun.
OxyContins for 8 to 11-year-olds.
Cool.
Because everybody knows.
That's why Sesame Street's on HBO now, man. Shit's changing quick. Gonna do some math and
Sesame Street's going to have
7.
swearing in it.
Yeah.
Muppets are going to fuck.
Finally, Bert and Ernie are taking a bath together, but
Yeah, Bert and Ernie.
different reasons.
How long have those guys been hiding their true love?
Totally.
Like in those shows, like you could have like two dudes that are obviously adults live together, and nobody questions where's their girls. They don't. These guys aren't into girls. Like Bert and Ernie never talked about chicks. They just hung out together.
I'm
got
surprised.
mad at each other.
I'm surprised we don't like homeless people more, because we all loved Oscar the Grouch, you know, and we kind of grew up as a young kid, you know, loving Oscar the Grouch. But then we got older, we're like, ew, it's Oscar, get out of here.
What the fuck are you talking about?
By the way, those are red velvet mites. What I was talking about earlier. Those red dots that are around. They're very small.
Yeah, you were saying orange. I was getting confused. All right, we'll wrap this bitch up. We're out of time here. Be back tomorrow with Jeff Nowitzki. Jeff Nowitzki's the guy who busted Lance Armstrong, and he now works for the UFC. He's the UFC drug guy. He's gonna clean up the sport. We're gonna find out how. Jeff Ross will be here on Wednesday. Should be fun. Jeff Ross's documentary or his Comedy Central special, where he roasts prisoners.
It's awesome.
It's amazing, and he really did go right into prison, and you know, and he wrote a really interesting thing that I retweeted about it. That he wrote, I think he wrote it for HuffPost, about like how crazy the prison system is, and we'll let him talk about it. I don't want to go into it. Wednesday we'll be at the Ice House. Brian Redband will be there. Brian Cowan will be there. I'll be there. More people to come. I got a few other people that texted me during the show. Those tickets will be available soon. I'll put them up on Twitter in about 20 minutes. This next Saturday, I'm in Austin, but it's sold the fuck out. So you snooze, you lose, freak bitches. Sorry. You got any dates coming up?
Next Wednesday, we got the secret show at the Comedy Store Belly Room. It's a good Belly Room version of the show that we do. It's going to be huge.
Best. The Belly Room's the best.
Yeah, and then next Friday, August 28th, I'll be at the Ventura Comic Con. I'm doing a show there at the Hong Kong Inn in Ventura, California. Tickets are on sale right now.
And DeathSquad.tv for all Brian Redband's t-shirts and shit, all sent through Stamps.com.
Yes.
But with his own greasy little hands. If you want to frame him for murder, you can get some DNA off of the packages. He actually licks each and every one of those envelopes.
True. It's funny. Sometimes I'll throw a shirt in there and something else goes in the package by mistake.
Fuck you,
new?
fat Jew.
Yeah.
That's it. Anything else?
Write Amazon and all the people that Fat Jew gets money from and tell them what you think about Fat Jew.
Get it together, fella. You don't have to live like this. You could come up with your own stuff. That's it, right? Anything else we got going on? That's basically it. All right. We'll see you guys soon. That's it. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Big kiss. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Aria Luma.
Vin Parvis.
Yo, I like to start by thanking Scientific. Rest in peace, homie. R.E.K.S. Great hands.
NYG.
Hey, yo, we cry freedom. Die fighting like G-men. Heat screaming, leave him. Spit off 10, get off of him. Lost in a world of talking coffins. Getting older, still trying to get over. Slide to Dakota, driving a Rover. Ears glued to Motorola. A fear do, sign a few posters, keep trucking. If I should be so lucky to die old with a young hoe sucking me, that should be lovely. You know, the luxury could go straight to the brain like the cocaine, but none for me. Shit, I be getting none from trees. Anything else might whack the guard. See Ray fucking around, smack the guard. Till I return back to guard, back on a job. Bout to enlarge a barrage of cold high bars. Straight through y'all niggas matchbox cars. Bad fam gon' do his job. New York G's be true in the heart. Device on polite scripts, couldn't screw it apart. Plus we nice with fifths, on some poor righteous shit. Getting ready to see a different side of life and shit. Hey yo, it's on son, 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 it's on son. I gotta get this money gone. It's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son. I gotta play it safe though. It's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son. I gotta get this money gone. It's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son. I gotta play it safe though.
It's all nigga. Pros and cons, fucking song. To me, can you explain how you entertained by my pain, my strife, and all the small details of my life? Reincarnated from incarceration, breathing again. Hustle better now, less risk is done with a pen. So how you want it, holler? These jeans is $40, nigga. These ain't Carnart, baby. These is Carhartt. Her army coat, pair of Timbs. I'm street smart. No hiding behind parked cars and street bark. I'm in the middle of the war, making heat spark. NYG's par enough and sweet. I was down with blazing heat on Hazen Street. Rikers Island went through and came home smiling. Lit it with mad niggas while the others was wailing. Warred with Crips, Bloods, Muslims and guards. Got it on with the Latin kings and wild me yet. That's play the spawns. So Jews for real, that's important. And keep Saturday nights live like Tracy Morgan. Your odds is like 93 million to 1. Cause you like 93 million miles from sun. Hey yo, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son. I gotta get this money gone. It's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son. I gotta play it safe though. It's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son. I gotta get this money gone. It's on son, it's on son, it's on son, it's on son.
Encounter any Asmodeans?
It's on, nigga.
Hey yo, it's on, son. Year round, we bout to tear down.
And the best rap album?
NYG.
I can hear it now. Drinking yak, lay back, thinking back. I hated Giuliani. What I give to get Dinkins back. Be writing raps, chasing Henny with scotch. CD or random play, blasting Biggie and Pop. Shiggy is hot. Society, they made me fiery. Heard you one-sided. I leave you open-minded. Brain smoking, frying. Laying hopeless, dying. Them niggas should've pulled your coat. Shabby toeing iron. They say I flow futuristic. 2020 with my 1988 ways. Counting the money. Lounging with honeys. Big truck, dick in their guts. And we don't love these chicks. Do it for kicks in the nut. Your shots nuts. I'm loco. Your goons can't do me. I blossom and bloom and stay in tune like I'm loony. Who we New York's greatest. Word is born. Study long, study wrong. Pros and cons. It's on. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's on. We gotta get our shine gone. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's about fucking time, y'all. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's on, son. It's on.
realest nigga. You know about this real shit.
It's just a reason to love. Keep it above.
Okay.
Reef hustle.
Hey yo, Reef, set that shit
Hey yo,
up, fly nigga.
hey yo, beat seep in the sleek street heat that increase demons, words and gods of Allah, whatever y'all prefer me speaking. I keep thinking, see, son is 11 years old, he's setting his goal, he's pressuring told if he don't hustle, he's in trouble, he must grow in his own. They won't throw him a bone, so he's forced to pick up the click clacker and splatter some domes, and now he's used to that. Plus he got these little dudes who's moving packs, doing halves a hash, passing class and math, consuming cash, chilling, building massive loot to last, but nothing lasts forever. Captain of the feds nabbed his ass, he catching terror, got him to snitch and switch states, strip the cake, new home, new parents, disciplined him, he was great, no temptation for drugs, and his grades is above, and all he asked was a reason to love.
That's all a nigga be asking for,
Shorty,
man.
and all he asked was a reason to love.
Yeah. Show some love, man. I show love, we show love. We got our arms out. Why your arms ain't out, man? What's the hate about? Fix your motherfucking face for real, yo. Ha. NYGs.
Yeah.
My nigga Reef. Hold on.
Yo.
Kick that shit.
Cash rules in the cream of the crop like mad Jews, but mad used and got gassed up to blast too, and that's bad news, cause I smash fools that act up, and with crack cut to hustle, I stack bucks to bubble and double my profit. I lock a block down like spot the box, the topic, so I hold heads for hostage, charged of chocolate. We sparked up in the darkness, it's forming us pop shit, cause I cornered the market, they couldn't stop it, cause my fixation for cream had me lacing the fiends on the corner, chasing my dreams, just making them schemes, son, it's the day and nothing, steaming the green and fucking cause all his queens be blushing and loving the moment, while my opponent gains the upper hand, he touching grams, cutting grams while I'm ducking ham, fucking jammed in the situation, well if I hit the station publicly, it won't be left the plus degree.
Now how much more we got to tell y'all niggas, man, before y'all get the motherfucking point? Huh? Huh? I feel like we dry snitching or something, like we telling y'all a little bit too much, man. I told you it's the 3-man weave, though. You only heard 2. That NYG shit, 183 shit, I'm reppin' for shot. I'm off early in the morning and I got me a plan. One eye for the stick-up kids, the other for the van. Running to the number hole so I can check the believe. Combinate 183, find me some reefer. Pull the truck to the park, get low so I can blow. Read my paper, sip my tea, start my day slow. Got a call on my cellars to God. Ain't nothing laid back in the park, getting buzz. I just came through the hood, I see Smith ain't on his shit. I'ma post up on the corner like I'm on some shit. 3 blocks up the street is where I park the whip. Learned that from the old heads when I was a kid. Gotta practice these jewels or it leads to a bid or something worse. Fuck around
May the splendor of the Imperium's Lord follow you.
I got a better idea for when I'm caught in the mix than in the mountains, waves spinning, sending bitches my flicks.
Thank you for watching. I got to go.